Welcome to my social media channel. This is Mark Anderson. In this episode, we're going to talk about the subject of fear. Fear is one of the most devastating things, not only for our personal lives, but also for our business. In this episode, I'm going to talk about strategies of how you can overcome your fear. So stay tuned. As I previously mentioned, fear can be one of the most devastating things in our personal life and in our business. One example of how fear can be devastating is that panic can set in and cause you to cloud your judgment. Quite often, this happens on the stock market when people get into a particular trade and they're not prepared to handle the risks associated with that trade. And then fear takes over and they start to do things that they never imagined that they would have done. And it causes them to lose several thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars. So in order to avoid fear, to overcome fear, I have some strategies that I want to recommend to you. And the first strategy I would recommend is that you have a plan in place before you get started. You will be amazed at how well you can react in situations when you've thought through what could potentially happen. Now, obviously, you can't be prepared for everything that life is going to throw at you. But when you engage, let's say, in a business, let's say you get into a stock, you can reasonably plan for what you are going to allow to happen, when you are going to potentially get in and when you would potentially get out. Or when you're going to invest in a potential product, you would want to know ahead of time what the likelihood is that you're going to be successful. So you're going to have to do a lot of planning in place before you actually go out there and try to launch that product. So when you have a plan in place, you can react to the forces that are working on your business. Whereas if you don't have a plan in place, you're going to be very reactive. And like I said, panic can set in, and that's where you can really do some things to harm your business and your personal life and make decisions that are emotionally based on panic. So if you have a plan in place, you can avoid that. And then you can, execute your plan based upon what happens in your particular business. And then the second strategy I would highly recommend is that you maintain mental flexibility. And like I said, you can't plan for everything. So if something unexpected comes your way, you want to try to think about what the alternatives are. What can I do in this particular situation? I tried to plan for what I reasonably thought could happen, but something unexpected happens. So for example, like sometimes in the market, I've had trades go against me where something unexpected happens, and then I have to adjust my plans and try to figure out what I'm going to do as a result of what happened. Like I said, you can't plan for everything, but if you have plans in place, you're going to be more well prepared to deal with the unexpected. And of course, if you're a Christian, I would highly recommend that you consult the Lord, especially if it's something that could be potentially, a loss more than what you were expecting. Or you might consult a friend or a coach and say, here's the situation I'm dealing with. What would you recommend? So you can also get other people's opinions. But if you can maintain mental flexibility in most circumstances, you will usually come out ahead. And finally, the most important part of overcoming fear is to focus on learning. What can you learn from the situation? When you do that, then you are going to be much better off. you're going to be using that circumstance as a springboard for your future success. Because when you focus on blaming and you tell yourself, I should have known, even if it was reasonable for you to anticipate what happened, it still doesn't help you to place blame on yourself. As an entrepreneur, the best thing you can do for yourself is focus on learning and don't focus on blame, because blame can be very, very destructive. And you don't want to do that to yourself. You want to have an environment of learning, because learning when you see a particular situation that might be similar to that in the future, you might be able to take advantage of it. Whereas in the first instance, you weren't able to. So when you focus on the learning, you set yourself up for better long-term success, because it's all about your education and how you can be flexible and how you can plan ahead and overcome whatever circumstances you may face. Finally, if you found this information helpful in any way, please like this video. And I would also appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to leave us a comment as well. And if you haven't read my book, Forgotten Secrets of Passing on Generational Wealth, you can pick up a copy of it on Amazon today. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day.